Nathaniel, come join the group, please. Thank you. Perfect. All right, so the book I'll be reading today, have a seat. There's no spots. You can sit wherever you want. So the next interruption I hear, you will not be having recess. And that goes for everybody.
I might need you to
Wayne, move back.
pick them up when we have to. Thank you.
Everybody make sure you're in a comfortable space. Nobody should be touching anybody. All right? We're in our own peaceful, positive space. All right, so the book we're reading is called Grace for President. All right? We can check out the cover of the book. It's written by Kelly DePuccio. I don't know. I've never seen this spelling before. All right, you can check out the cover. We're not talking. We're not talking. You have something to share, quiet hands. We shouldn't be sharing anything right now. You should be using your brains to just look over the picture. All right, try to see what the story's about. Hands down.
What means grace?
Grace for president. All right. One Monday morning in September, put your hand down. Pay attention. Just listen right now, buddy. That's it. Don't tell me about nothing nobody else doing. I don't want to hear about it. All right. One Monday morning in September, Miss Barrington rode out of a big poster. Get up. Go to your seat. You won't be having recess. Who's next? One Monday morning in September, Miss Barrington rode out a big poster with all of the president's pictures. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. Where are the girls? Devin, have a seat and back up, please. Have a seat. This table right over there. Once again, we're not talking. My last one. That is a very good question, said Ms. Barrington. The truth is, our country has never had a woman president. No girl president, ever? Grace asked. No, I'm afraid not, said Ms. Barrington. Grace sat at her desk and stewed. No girls who'd ever heard of such a crazy thing. Finally, she raised her hand. See Grace having a conversation with her teacher, Ms. Baritone. Couldn't believe that it wasn't any female presidents before. Yes, Grace, I've been thinking it over, and I like to be president. Several students in the class laughed. All right, so Grace is thinking about it, and she tells the teacher that you got a problem? I shouldn't hear any noise from you. All right, next page. You notice I'm ignoring you, right? There's no bathroom right now.
You might miss the floor.
Well, I think that's a star-spangled idea, Grace, said Miss Baritone. In fact, we have our own election right here at Woodrow Wilson Elementary. The snickering in the room stopped. Why are you touching stuff? Put your hands with your lap. I'm not laughing. The next interruption, you won't be having recess. Whoever. I shouldn't hear any noises from anybody. The snickering in the room stopped. Grace smiled. Would anyone else like to run for president? Ms. Baritone asked the class. All right, so quiet hands, real fast. Would anybody in here like to run for president? All right, couple brave souls. Nobody raised their hand. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought. All right, you can come and see. So the next day, Ms. Baritone made an announcement. In the name of democracy, I have invited Ms. Waller's class to join our election. Their class has nominated Thomas Cobb to be their presidential candidate. Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school's spelling bee champion. His experiments always took a blue ribbon at the science fair, and he was captain of the soccer team. Becoming president wasn't going to be so easy after all, Grace thought. All right, so Grace has, now she sees that her presidential candidate, all right, the person that's going against her is qualified, right? So she's feeling a little scared. She doesn't feel like she's gonna win. All right, let's see what's happening next. The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia into a hat. Everyone except for Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. All right, so everybody in the class got to choose a state except for Grace and Thomas. All right, moving on to the next page. All right, I'm gonna show it again. I'm Texas, said Anthony. I'm New Hampshire, said Rose. I'm Michigan, said Robbie. What does the number 17 mean? Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. That number is determined by how many live in the state, said Ms. Baritone. Each of you will be a representative for a state. Hold on. Move. Go sit down. How would you come in and sit on the desk anyway? Matter of fact, get up. Go sit at the round table. You won't be having recess either. Come in here sitting on desks. This is not your house. Although our country has 538 electoral votes, Ms. Waller explained, on election day, the candidate who receives 270 electoral votes or more wins the election. I'll wait. I'm not hearing your voice. I'm asking you a question. Why were you talking just now? Do you want to finish your conversation, or would you like for me to finish reading the book? All right. Who, 270, asked Rose. That's more than half of all the electoral votes, Ms. Waller said. Becoming president really wasn't going to be easy, Grace thought. All right, next page. All right, so we see a couple of different classmates talking about their state. Ron, you want to?
I was born in Texas.
Okay. You was born in Texas, Nathaniel? That's amazing. I've been to Texas. I've been to Austin, Texas once. It's really. All right, that's it. Moving on. All right, so this is up, guys. Grace came up with a campaign slogan. Make history. Vote Grace Campbell for president. Thomas came up with his own campaign slogan. Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job. Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. A peaceful school, no bullies. A cleaner school, no littering. Better hot lunches, no more fish stick tacos. Thomas made up his own list of promises. Free tutoring, free soccer lessons, fish stick tacos every week. Grace, first of all, everybody should be sitting crisscross applesauce. Ryan, you're fine. Specifically talking about y'all.
Who's talking? Me?
Alright. Grace made campaign posters and buttons.
What?
Thomas made posters and buttons too.
Wait, you didn't show us.
Go to your seat. Your next step is no recess, then no snack, then no recess tomorrow. Voices off means voices are off. Alright. Each week, the teachers set aside time for the candidates to meet with their constituents. Polls were taken, voters were making their choices. Get up. Get up. So how many I got 4 no recess. Alright, cool. Just adding on, adding on. Who's next? You look like you next, George. Grace continued campaigning. At recess, she gave speeches. During lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. After school, she held rallies. All right, so Grace is just doing everything she can to. Wayne, you right? Yeah, touch it, Wayne. All right, she's doing everything she can to try to persuade her peers and her classmates that she should be president, right? Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had clearly calculated that the boys held slightly more electoral votes than the girls. At recess, Tommy studied his spelling words. During lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. After school, he played soccer. Elijah, what you doing? Cut that out. I don't like that. I don't like that. Cut that out.
You didn't show the glass.
But dang,
Can you hold it higher some?
if I hear your voice again, you won't have recess tomorrow. Next page, next page. During lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. After school, he played soccer. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad. She organized a school beautification committee. And she volunteered her time in the school cafeteria. Wow, so we need more graces in the classroom, right, guys? Can we be more graceful? Next page.
That's unflexible.
Cut your voice up. I don't know. Ask yourself. Ask yourself where you grace. All right. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special election day. Nathaniel, get up. Taylor, get up. You go to this table. Nathaniel, you go to the back table. The next step is with Mr. Tim. Hold on. Go have a seat. All right, next page. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special election day assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as the school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. The Yellowhammer State of Alabama cast its non-electoral votes for Thomas Cobb. Moving on. Fletcher said, the last frontier state of Alaska cast its 3 electoral votes for the best man for the job, Thomas Cobb. Hannah called out, the Grand Canyon state of Arizona cast its 10 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. What's wrong, baby? Elijah, find a spot and stay in it. And so it went. State after state. Put your hand down. State after state cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of the totals. All right. Elijah, go to your seat. The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. The Badger State of Wisconsin cast his votes for my best friend, Grace Campbell. 268 votes for Thomas, 267 votes for Grace. Grace looked at the scoreboard. Thomas had 268 electoral votes. She had 267. There were only one state still unaccounted for, Wyoming. All right. Anybody? Quiet hand. Anybody ever heard of the state Wyoming? Quiet hand. Quiet hand. That doesn't require a voice. Next bit. Alright, next page. Thomas grinned. Grace felt sick. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. He looked at Grace. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. So I gotta look over to the left, and I hear talking from any one of y'all three. All three of y'all not having recess today and tomorrow. You heard what I said, right? Alright, making sure. He looked at Grace. He looked down at, no water. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. Sam didn't say a word. What are you waiting for? Thomas whispered. The band stopped playing. All eyes were on Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his throat. The equality state of Wyoming cast his 3 electoral votes for, all right, drum roll, guys. Who y'all think? Who y'all think? I think Grace, right? All right, let's see. Grace Campbell. All right, she won. The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. Ms. Baritone approached the podium. With 270 electoral votes, the winner is Grace Campbell. Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam. Why did you do it? She asked. Sam handed Grace his flag. Because, he said, I thought you were the best person for the job. One more page? No. The following, Devin, why are you standing up with your hand in my face? The following week, the students in Ms. Baritone's class were preparing for their career day presentations. Grace volunteered to go first. She stood at the front of the room and glanced at the poster still hanging on the wall. My name is Grace Campbell. When I grow up, I'm going to be President of the United States. It's time everyone believed that she would. All right, everybody have a seat. Have a seat, quiet seat. All right, so by show of hands, since we read the story, has anybody changed their mind about becoming president?
No.
So we had about 6 people at first. So at this time, does anybody want to raise their hand and to see if they were brave enough to try to become president of the United States?
I'm brave enough.
All right, a couple more hands.
Mm.
All right, so. All right, voices are up. Voices are up. So I want to talk about our story. Can anybody explain to me? Put your hand down. Can anybody relax? Can anybody explain to me a time?
I'm not even touching you. Keep doing this.
Can anybody explain to me a time where they felt something was very difficult and they felt like they were not able to overcome or accomplish something, but then something happened and it made them believe in themselves more? All right, George.
When we did our test, and I thought that I was going to have the lowest score, but I had the highest score.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Nathaniel, you want to share? All right, go ahead.
What made us play football and we had the club, but we just made it.
All right, Aries.
When I thought I wasn't going to get my certificate in pre-K, and kindergarten, I did.
All right. Anybody else? Right.
When I was in kindergarten.
All right, hold on, Ron. I'm sorry. Devin, get up. Go to your seat. Wayne, get up. Go to your seat. You heard what I said. I don't care who it was.
I hope I get my certificate.
Aries, we're not talking. Come on. She was respectful when you spoke. Let's respect Ron. Go ahead.
When I was in kindergarten, I thought I wasn't going to pass it, but I did.
Okay. Anybody else? Terrell? All right, come on, Terrell. We're sharing right now about things that we overcame. Anybody else want to share any obstacles that they overcame, or a time where they believed that they were not able to accomplish something? All right. But then they found a way to believe in themselves. Nobody else? All right, so at this time, everybody can stand up. We're going to play a game of Night at the Museum. My first two security guards are Chloe and Andrew. All right.